It
definitely
is.
think that you need you need dysphoria to transition. You need like just to
It's
it's like it is a medical condition.
that's
Like
right.
it's like it's a
That's right.
problem when you're out here saying, uh gender doesn't matter. It's like, yes, it does.
Oh my
Gender
God.
matters. Gender
That's right.
matters. It really matters because you're basically trying to erase, you and me, right?
That's
Like
right.
all the
That's
hard
right.
work that we've put into transition, and you're
That's
trying to
right.
say that gender doesn't matter? Like, fuck.
Hey everybody. Hi. I caught myself another one.
Hi,
So
it's
look
me.
at that. So before we move forward, remember like, subscribe, do all those things you do to help this channel. It's really growing and I appreciate and I see you all. And it's the reason I can bring these beautiful, amazing guests on. So this afternoon I have Maddie and Maddie reached out to me and, I kind of think we're similar in the way we think, but maybe we have different opinions. I don't know much. I didn't do a lot of research on you because I kind of want this to be free flowing, if that
Of
makes sense,
course.
Maddie.
Yeah, yes.
So
Hmm.
why don't you introduce yourself to everybody so we can get that.
Yeah, of course. Well, hi everyone. My name is Madeline, Madeline Crisostomo. I'm a trans woman. I've been transitioned now for about a decade, I think, actually.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, it's been I transitioned at a time when I feel like there really wasn't a lot of uh like there wasn't a lot of trans people like out in the world yet during the time that I
Yeah,
transitioned in high school. And
yeah.
I'm also Brazilian. I'm
Wow.
originally from Brazil. So
Excellent,
yeah. And
excellent.
but I've been living in the States here for now for about like 10 years, 10 to
Okay.
12 years. Hmm.
Oh wow, your English is so great. You don't even have an accent.
Yes, yes, actually Portuguese was actually my first language.
Oh wow, that's crazy. You don't
Yeah.
even have an accent.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what America
Con-
does to you.
No, I've been to Brazil. I've been to Sao Paulo for a conference, and it was
Mhm.
an amazing experience. I loved it there. It was amazing.
It's a beautiful place. It's truly a
It really
beautiful
is.
place.
But
Yeah.
I
So have you
know
been?
there's a lot of problems with I guess trans stuff. Back in the day, I don't know so much anymore. Is it?
I mean, of course, it's still a struggle. I still, wouldn't recommend to like run to Brazil to transition. But I mean, maybe if you're gonna get like your butt done or something, like do some kind of surgery, that's fine. But then I would run right back to America where it's safe. You know what I mean?
Right on. Totally.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
So great. So this is awesome. So you've been transitioned for like 10 years. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes,
wow.
sir.
And
Hmm.
you transitioned at as a what age? If you
Uh,
don't
I,
want to say
yeah,
that
I
age, that's right.
transitioned at around 18 years old when it was
Wow.
when I could legally do it.
Okay, right, right. And you did
Yeah.
that in Brazil?
No, 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 I did that
Did you
here.
you did so you came here and you transitioned here right
Yes.
on at
Yes.
18. Wow.
Yes.
Excellent. So that being said, 10 years you're in your transition and did it like have you ever looked back? I guess my question is have you ever looked back? Like you made the wrong
Um,
choice or
no. No.
no,
I've
never.
never thought to myself, wow, I still wish I was a man. You know? I
That's
think
right.
that it was such a I think that it's such a beautiful journey to transition. And I mean, like, when you actually put in the work to transition, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think that, of course it has its ups and its downs and it's difficult. And
Mhm.
but when it's right for you, it's right for you, and it was right for me. And I couldn't imagine my
Fantastic.
life being any other way than who I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about that, a little bit about you as a young person. So did you struggle with gender dysphoria?
Yes, I did.
Hmm.
Heavily. I
Hmm.
heavily struggled with gender dysphoria since like I was maybe like 3 or 4. I was putting on dresses. I was playing with Barbies. The usual
Sure.
suspects of, yeah, of when but it got to a point where I was in high school and I just like had to wear makeup and I had to wear these clothes, like I had to start presenting femme, and it was either that or I was gonna kill myself. So there was no other, way out for
Yeah.
me but to just plunge myself into my transition.
Mhm.
And But
How did people treat you when you how did the so maybe your friends or people around you tell me a little bit about that.
people were awful to me in high
Mm,
school. Like I had some good friends growing up. Thank
mhm,
God for them. They really got me through it.
mhm.
They knew who they are. Uh, but no, I was kicked. I was spat on in the hallways. I was shoved. I was bullied. I was treated so poorly by people, but it's okay. It's kind of like a full circle moment now that, you know, I have the same men who used to bully me are now in my DMs. Want to like, you know,
Of course they are.
yeah. I'm like, you
Hilarious.
fucking scum.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so true. Listen to what you say. It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Like, listen, all men, all people are willing to, you know, are willing to try things out, especially like in our day of
That's
age
true.
now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I would like,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
That's right. Totally. So,
oh
but it's
yeah,
kind of fascinating to me how how do people legitimize that? Before your transition, you were bullied and all that. Now that you are transitioned, the same people who might have bullied you are coming at you to date you or to,
yes,
have intimacy with you. That's interesting to me. I wonder,
it is
but
interesting.
do they know you're trans, these guys?
Yes, 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 yes.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they know, and like I don't think they understand like the true ideology of what trans is, but like
Sure.
they're like, oh, she's hot and she has boobs now and she looks good and I, you know,
That says a lot about dudes. Believe me.
it really does. You know, Buck, I'm at a point in my life now where I take everything that cis men tell me at face value. I don't really
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
just, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you
So
know what it is.
I completely know. I mean, so with that, what industry are you working in right now?
So
Do you work in
I'm
the adult
actually
industry?
I do, yes. I
Hmm.
am
Hmm.
currently an OnlyFans
Okay.
personnel, if you
Uh
will.
huh.
I'm an
Uh huh.
OnlyFans model,
Right.
and you know, I've done sex work my entire life.
Hmm.
I've done, I've been a stripper, I've been an
Hmm.
escort, I've been
Hmm.
a, you know, a sugar baby.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like I've lived many different lives doing these things, and it wasn't until OnlyFans when I really like feel like I hit my niche,
Right.
and
Interesting.
it's just such a I feel like it's just such a great place to be to like make money to like and you're also safe. You're safe when you
Hmm.
do OnlyFans because you're not putting
Hmm.
yourself out there. And you know, as a trans
That's right.
person, it's dangerous to be putting yourself in
Yes.
harm's way. Yeah.
Yes.
So I
That's right.
really, really, really think that OnlyFans has
Mm.
done something really positive for the community, and I like really
Yes.
appreciate them for it. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, no, it's given you a space to have to be able to do things what you just said safely. So you
Yes.
don't necessarily
Yes.
have to do escorting, which is a whole other level and very dangerous, and people don't understand that. But many trans people had to do that as what we call right survival sex work.
Yes.
And today it's not so much survival sex work. You're on some level liking what you do and then choosing
Yes.
what you do, right? There's a big
Yes.
difference there, I
Yes,
think.
you have like the
Hmm.
control of like what content you're releasing, when you want to
Hmm.
release it,
Hmm.
what you want to do, what how you want to pioneer yourself on the internet, which I think
That's
is,
right.
you know, it's great. It's really great, and I'm so pro sex work, but I
Hmm.
feel like, you know, be safe first before you,
Right.
uh, you know, want to make money. I think that's like the
That's
most
right.
important thing. Yeah.
That's right. There's a lot to be said there. I mean, now it is also accessible to a younger generation who might not understand the long-term effects of this industry. As you know, I
Yes.
started in this industry, and it can have long-term effects on you mentally if you're not
Yes.
sort of
Oh,
situated.
absolutely.
Customers can, or whatever you want to call them, fans or customers can be completely insane and
They're nuts. They're fucking crazy.
nuts,
Yeah, they're
nuts. People have no,
fucking
they don't have a clue what
nuts.
you have to deal with. People don't.
No,
No, no.
no.
It's
I
horrible.
I I never like, you know, like I thought I knew what crazy was when I was stripping or escorting. Um, but I learned what crazy was after the OnlyFans. That's what I
True. That's very
yeah.
true. Yes.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about you starting this work. So no, not necessarily the sex work. Let's get into that later. I want to talk more about your trans space, and I want to talk a little bit more about you today in your trans space, being 10-year transition, I see a different world today, and I'm wondering if you see a different sort of trans communities. Being a male to female trans person, do you see something different around the whole trans space than
I
when you
do. I
transition?
do.
Yeah, let's talk
I
about
do.
that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. There's a well, let's start with the woke left, right?
Yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
feel like we as trans people are kind of getting stripped our own rights as
hmm
trans people due
hmm
to, like the people who have decided to claim the trans label, which I think
right.
is a huge problem in our community.
Yeah,
I I see the people like, the non-binaries, and again, like, this is no hatred towards them, and this is no, like,
that's right.
everyone can be whoever the fuck they want to be, and like you can be an attack helicopter, I don't care. But when you start to cause detriment, when you start to cause detriment to a community of people, like I have a huge problem with that, and like we're seeing that
Yeah,
now in, Texas, Florida, it's happening in Montana, like
Ugh,
we're seeing almost a cleansing of trans people, and it's
that's right.
disturbing. It's truly
Yeah,
disturbing that uh where that this is taking place right now. And I feel like, a lot of it has to do with the people, the non like people like the non-binary people, or the people who go by them and they, and
hmm
they're
hmm
taking our label from us. But you're not like you're not trans. I'm so sorry,
that's
you're
right.
not trans. You have not walked a mile in our shoes. You have not medically transitioned. You have not done surgeries. You have
hmm
not put in the work to be transgender. And like,
hmm
to me, it's just really upsetting, Buck. And
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know. I just feel like you need to like let us handle ourselves. You need to let us speak, because like we can speak for our community. Thank you very much. Like,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much. Thank you for all. Like, we appreciate the sentiment, but like, fuck off.
Well,
Yeah.
as you know, I'm totally on board with that. And what the problem I see is exactly what you're saying, that these people who are non-binary, whatever, I don't think there's any hate here, but they're not us.
Yeah.
And so how did these people become trans? And how did these people on some level represent you and I when we're literally the opposite of me and you transition to look like men and women and to walk the
Yes.
world that way and to present to the world there's no way anybody ever asks you your pronouns. It's not
No.
possible. Never.
No.
And that's
Mm-mm.
what people need to see. People like me and you would be insulted or actually be hurt if you asked us our pronouns. So we don't, on some level, resonate, or we are not in alignment with the non-binary. And that's, I guess, my sort of thing here with you is that how did these non-binary I'm going to say transgender umbrella people because they're the umbrella people, how did they get to sort of speak for us? How did they overtake this
I I think
community?
I think they're really bored. I think they're I think they're I, I think they're bored, and they needed to pick a struggle, and they picked a struggle, and their
Yeah,
struggle, it's just like dyeing your hair blue or purple or pink and having a septum nose ring. I'm sorry, it doesn't make you transgender. It
I
doesn't.
know.
It does not. Like,
It does not.
respectfully, fuck off.
That's
Um,
right. That's right. No, no, I'm with
yeah,
you. I'm with you.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I think that, we have like very problematic figures right now in the trans community. Like, I don't know if you know who Alok is.
of course.
Yeah, very problematic people in the community
Yeah,
who are like, claiming this trans label when you're
yeah,
just a man wearing some makeup
yeah,
and you have a nose piercing, and it's like
yeah.
you do not speak for the trans community. I'm sorry.
Nope,
You do
he
not.
does not.
No.
He does not.
No.
And I mean no disrespect to Alok, they, them, whatever. That being said, Alok disrespects us, And
Yes.
it is true. I'm very on board with you with that. I don't. I'm very insulted by how they continue to claim trans when they're not doing the same work you and I do. And then they put out a lot of rhetoric that hurts us when they say stuff
Yes.
like me and you are doing. You know, we're sort of we're the problem because we are gender stereotypes and we're doing the but we're medicalized transsexual people. We deal with our gender
Yes.
dysphoria. We have a mental
Yes.
disorder. We're totally all good with all that stuff. So that's why he can't talk about us because we don't have the
Yes.
same. He's willing to put a dress on and have a beard and
Yeah, the
push back,
makeup.
but in 5 years, that guy can literally take the dress off, put on men's clothes, and go walk the world as a man. Why me and you are standing here going, wait a minute, dude, you just literally screwed up the whole community. Because mark my words, this is gonna come back to bite all us transsexual people in the ass. And we're the ones who are gonna clean up the mess because they aren't trans people. They're something else. They're taking
They're
it on as an
bored. They're
identity. They're bored.
Yes, they're
Yeah,
bored.
yeah, something.
They oppressed cis white people. It's so funny to me. They all need a struggle. They
I
all need a
know.
struggle.
It's insane.
It's just
It's
like
sad. It's very sad.
pick a different struggle. Like we already have
It's
so
sad.
much shit to deal with, and you're causing so much damage to us as a community.
Wow.
And
Wow.
and you picked our struggle, and it's not a fun struggle to have, Buck. It's really not.
No,
It's
it's
really
horrible.
difficult. It
It
is.
is. It
And
is.
I,
It's
you know,
very
I find a
horrible.
problem with, like certain people or like, the non-binary community with
Mhm.
coming out of the woodwork saying that like, you don't need dysphoria.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's right. That's the one that upsets me more than anything. I have a mental disorder. I don't know
I do
how
too.
you. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're totally in alignment. We see people. There are people like us who claim we know what we have. We're okay with it. We
Yes.
need our disorder.
Yes.
We need to know what we have in order for us to fix it to move forward. That's with any mental disorder or any disorder. You have to know what you have in order to fix it. That's why these people they don't have a disorder. They don't have it. That's why they self ID as trans people. They're not willing to try to get the disorder because they don't have it.
Yeah.
So they know that if they go to a therapist, the therapist is going to say, but you're not trans. And they don't,
Yes.
that's why they have affirmative trans healthcare now that just a therapist says, yeah, you're trans for sure. You're trans. Like what? So yeah, I love that you're saying all this because it's very important that trans women as well, because I feel like the conversation is dominated a lot by trans women. I don't
Yes.
know if you see that,
I
but
agree.
yeah,
I do agree with that notion.
it,
Yes.
it,
But no,
it,
I
it
definitely
is.
think that you need dysphoria to transition. You need like just to
It's,
it's like it is a medical condition.
that's
Like
right.
it's like it's a
That's right.
problem when you're out here saying, uh gender doesn't matter. It's like, yes, it does.
Oh my
Gender
God.
matters. Gender
That's right.
matters. It really matters because you're basically trying to erase, you and me, right?
That's
Like
right.
all the
That's
hard
right.
work that we've put into transition, and you're
That's
trying to
right.
say that gender doesn't matter? Like, fuck you. I didn't
Oh my
spend
God.
10 years, I didn't spend 10 years of my life transitioning all the years of hormones that
Oh
I've
my
been
God.
on. And I'm sure you've been on, the
Yeah,
surgeries that I've gotten,
that's
the
right.
pain I've put in my body through, the ridicule of society, just for you
Hmm.
to tell me that gender isn't real?
Thank
No.
you.
No.
No, it's
No.
insulting. So
No, it
why
is
can
very
they
insulting.
insult us? Why can they say these things? But if we turn around and say what me and you are saying right here, we're bigots or we're transphobic or we're turfs or we're I don't even know anymore. It's grifters or
Grifters.
every
There's so
yeah,
many new terms. I can't
grift.
even I can't even I think Buck, I think at the end of the day, it's because they can't take a look at in the mirror and look at themselves and
Okay.
really, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they really can't just like they can't take uh
Mhm.
they can't take complaints that we have with them. They can't
That's
they
right.
can't look at themselves and feel proud of what they're doing because what they're doing is it's unjust in my eyes,
It's
in my
destructive.
opinion. It is very destructive. It's very damaging to our
Very
community.
damaging. Thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate you saying that because I think people out there need, I have a very, it's interesting. I'm not a conservative person. I have conservative like values, I think, and that just comes with my
Yeah,
age. But I think, and wholeheartedly, I'm very liberal minded and I'm very open minded, and I believe everyone deserves rights and human rights. But
I
what I
agree.
see coming from this community, it's not that. I see this idea that we have to dominate, and when we start, sort of, as far as I'm concerned, overriding, women's rights by saying that we are more important than you, that doesn't resonate with me at all. We
No.
can't do that as trans people. We need to assimilate ourselves into the world and, coexist with people. And and through my 30 years of transition, I coexist in the
Wow.
world, and it has made my life so much easier. I don't push on people. If someone call me a she, I don't really. People do it all the time to hurt my feelings. Who
Yeah.
cares? I mean, really, who cares, right? If they called
They're
you a
just
dude, who
words.
cares? That's right.
Yeah.
It's obvious you're
Yeah.
not a dude and you don't. But I think the problem is that a lot of the people don't want to do the work you and I are doing, physically as well as mentally. They don't want to do the physical work.
Because
I mean,
it's a lot of work, Buck. It's a
it's
lot of
so much
work to,
work.
and people, people just want the instant gratification of like having the label of trans,
That's
but
right.
not putting in the work to be trans or to,
That's right.
to be what we are trying to create.
Yeah.
This image, this it's like a
Yes.
be, our like our being, our soul.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
I don't know, people are just getting lazier and lazier, and
It's gross. It's well,
it is really gross. You got to step it up.
why would our community get so, I like to say, co-opted? Been co-opted by these people who aren't like us. And well, I think you said earlier people are looking for struggle, but at the same time it just shocks me that trans has become this sort of huge identity choice with a younger generation, and everyone seems to be okay with it on some level, when it's gonna not be good in another couple years. These kids are going to turn around and go, I was never trans, and why did you let me transition?
Yeah, see, that's a big problem, I think, too, is like allowing minors to transition, right?
Yeah,
I think that
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't really understand how to operate yourself when you're such a young age like
That's right.
that. If you're, when I was 15, 14, 13, I didn't know I wanted to be a woman, Buck. I
Yeah,
wasn't quite sure. I
yeah,
definitely like had an inkling that like I wanted to present a certain way and I wanted to look a certain way. And
yeah,
I definitely started presenting. And like, I think that presenting is totally fine. But when
yeah.
it comes to mutilating children's genitalia and introducing, hormones into the mix, I think that somebody really needs to be well informed and also like of a good age where they can understand what they're doing to their body,
That's right.
because it is very harmful to be on hormones. It's
Oh my
very
God.
like detrimental to your body. Like I, have been on hormones now for 10 years and I can tell you I'm tired.
Yeah,
My body is exhausted
yeah,
from the hormones.
that's
Like
right.
I have like, like a certain issues because of taking hormones for such a long time, and like you can develop things like cancer, and
That's
again,
right.
like I can no longer have children because of it. So you really need to do your due diligence and your research before you just jump in and being like, I need to do this just to realize I was never even trans in the first place.
Oh my
It's
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So jumping off that, we have people that are called detransitioners, right?
yes.
And that's because of everything you just said right there. We're letting kids,
Yes.
just 16-year-olds, just start
Yeah.
taking testosterone like it's candy.
Why? Yeah.
It's shocking.
It's disturbing. It's really disturbing, Buck. And I think that like we need to, again, like I'm not quite sure like where I sit on like the kids medicalization for transitioning. I
Yeah,
don't I think certain things should be, of course, I think that, we need to like be going to therapy, or you need to
that's
have a
right.
psychologist. You need to be
That's
making
right.
sure your mental health is in check before you really, pull the trigger. And I'm really happy that I was seeing a therapist for like 5 years before I pulled that trigger. And
Excellent.
I had a psychologist, and like I really knew that it was the journey that I needed to take when I turned 18. And I'm so happy that it didn't happen any other way. I really am.
Thank you for saying that. A young
Yeah.
person will hear you. And, it's hard, kids. It's hard to hold off. everyone wants to go to Disneyland right now, but maybe you have to
Yes.
wait a little while before you can go to Disneyland. It's okay because it makes the actual journey, this waiting part is actually great. It's not a bad thing. And what if you do change your mind? All I think that Madeline and I are saying is that just time matters in this because these look at her and look at me. This is not reversible. None of this is. We're going to
No.
look like this for the rest of our lives, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
That is very, very, very profound that a person doesn't. I don't think that we're being honest with young people. Do you? I don't
No.
think we're being
No.
honest
I
about
don't
what
think
this
we're
really
not.
means.
We're
No.
not.
Why would we
No.
do that? Why would we do that to young people? Why are there people in this community who are even friends of mine that I'm shocked that they're pushing puberty blockers on young children? Why? What do they see that you and I don't? Because you and I are totally going, wait a minute, no, kids do
No, no, no.
not. But why would they want it? Why do you think other trans people want kids to transition?
I think it's kind of predatory
Mm,
to want to
mm,
inject yourself in
mm,
a child's transition. Like
mm,
it feels very predatory to me. Like, why are
mm.
you pushing so much for this child to do
Yeah,
something with their body? Like, let them have their autonomy. Like, let them, you
that's
know,
right.
in a sense
Hmm.
where, like, wait until they're of the age and then allow them to have full autonomy over their body so they can
Hmm. That's
decide what
right.
they want to do from there. It's
Yeah,
disturbing. Like, I have
yeah.
I have like kids in high school now who are like 12 or 13 who will come up to me and be like, I want to transition too. And I'm like,
Oh,
wait, please wait. Like, you don't know yet. You're not sure
no.
yet. Like, is this a trendy thing for you? Is this something that you
Hmm.
saw on the internet? Or
Hmm.
is this something that you really, really feel deep in your heart and you're like, I need to do this? Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm so uncertain with today's generation of what's
Hmm.
going on because it's just such a trendy thing to transition now. And it's stressful, Buck. It's very stressful to see in such a
I
young
know.
generation of people
It
how
really
it's just become
is.
such a trendy thing when it's
It
not
really
trendy.
is.
It's not.
Because they took it out of the medical space and now they
Yes.
did look. I might sound like a conspiracy weirdo, but there is no way after doing this 30 years ago, right? Like, I've been in this community for a long time. I've seen things, I watched things. It's only been in the last 10 years or so that I saw this huge push to demedicalize it, to destigmatize whatever that means, and to take gatekeeping. They call it gatekeeping,
Yes.
I call it safekeeping. But to take,
Yes.
therapy out of it, to take this sort of thing what me and you talked about earlier was to make it into sort of a road. You have to do therapy, then you have to do this, and you have to do this. And, it's a safety. I call it a bumper. It's a safety net. Because if 12 and 13-year-old kids are saying, I want to transition, that's really crazy. That is crazy. Because how come it happened all of a sudden? These 12 and 13-year-old kids weren't doing this 10 years ago. Why are they doing it now? Do
Because
you have
it's
any
because I think it's because of, like, it's a problem. It's like with TikTok, right? It's with social media. You're
social
seeing
contagion?
social
Yeah.
contagion. It's a
Yeah.
plague. It's a plague, Buck.
God, it's
It's
sick. It's
you
sick.
there's people I see people who go, are on TikTok. I really try to stay off the internet because it stresses me out so much.
That's totally me. I'm like, I'm gonna just do one post and I'm getting
But
the heck
yeah.
out of here.
Yeah. No, but I see I
True.
see people who are like trans agers or
Mm,
people who,
what? Wait,
are
what's a
you aware
trans? No, I'm
a
not.
trans ager?
Yeah, no. What?
Okay, so a trans ager is someone who identifies as a child.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
We're done. I'm
Yes.
leaving the train. I'm done. I'm done. That's actually that's just fucking crazy. Oh, come on. That just proved my point of co opting. They continue, or appropriation, whatever you want to call it. They're literally taking our disorder and creating a billion different trans ager?
Yeah, there's an
What?
article about a man who left his family and his wife so he could be a 6-year-old girl.
Okay,
To
well,
live
that's
his dream as a 6-year-old
perverted.
girl. Yeah,
Like, that is not trans people.
no,
That's
it's not.
something that is
That is a
something
true
going
mental
on.
disorder.
That's exactly right. There, but we're playing into it. right? We're playing into all this nonsense. Like, oh, you can't say that. You can't say that this person is, or else you're a bigot. I'm like, well, wait a minute. This man wants to be a 6-year-old little girl, and you're
No.
okay with that? That is not okay. That's a predator. That's some weird predatory. And that's why they're looking at me and you like predators now. They're looking at us like we're part of this weird
Yes.
shit.
Yeah, and it's like we don't want to be associated with this.
God,
We
no,
don't we no.
get away from me. I will. Like, what? Wow. Because as people who work in the adult industry, we've always had boundaries around young people. I've always been, no, that this is not for kids. And so it's hard as people like us who work in the industry. People always think of us as perverts or pedophiles or whatever they want to call us. And that's not fair. These are the ones that are the weirdos, the trans
Yes.
ager.
The trans agers, the freaks of the
Oh
world,
my
it's
God, I'm
it's
so
fucking
mad.
it's disturbing. It's
What the heck?
disgusting, Buck. And I just like I just hate again that we're associated, and
I
this is
know.
what this is what the GP are seeing, right? They're seeing this crap like this and they're like, "Oh, trans people are fucking nuts. They're insane.
That's
They're
right.
disgusting."
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm
That's
sorry. Is it
right.
okay if I cuss?
Yeah, heck yeah,
Okay.
man. Are you
Okay.
kidding me? This is my channel.
I'm very heated about this.
So am I. No, no, no. I go off every day about it because I'm not going to sit here. And that's why I get called transphobic from a community that I helped, build and did a lot of travel around the world to change laws. But, I didn't do it to be that person. I just did it because I care about being a transsexual person. But
Yeah.
today, people like me and you are ostracized from our own community because we say these things.
Yes, and I
What?
honestly, Buck, I feel like such a disconnect from my community.
Me
I
too.
I I
Me
just
too.
feel like I don't really relate to like anybody that I talk to because like
Yep.
it's almost like
Yep.
their whole identity is just being
Yeah.
trans or being non-binary or being
That's right.
gay or being, whatever that is. And I just feel like that's not all that we are. We are so much more
Oh my
than
God.
just our gender or, you know,
Yep. Yep.
like what are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
Thank
Like
you. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
What is what is interesting about you as a person besides like what's between your legs? Like
Or
I
that
don't
you're
care.
trans. Like you're
Yeah.
trans. Yeah. Like,
Just like
okay, we got
waving the
it. Oh my God, the flag. The flag's gone totally nuts.
I don't like the flag.
No, I won't touch that flag. Get away from
Nope.
me. If I
Nope.
see that flag, if I want, I'm not going in that store. I actually go the
Yeah.
other way. I'm like,
You gotta
I'm
just
not, because that's what people need to see. Me and you just wanted to sort of be men and women and walk that way and
yeah.
not have people look at us like we're strange. It's hard
Yeah.
enough having gender dysphoria. Like the last thing we need is having all these people calling us, calling me a she and calling you a he. And they're doing that because of these people, not because of me and you, but because these people are making it difficult now. They are, as we see more and more older men, right, biological men wanting to transition to becoming women. And I notice it too. There's a different generation now of
Yeah,
this happening.
I have
Yeah,
noticed that too, and
yeah.
it is, it kind of does take into question, like,
Hmm.
it makes me question, like, why is it that you are transitioning? Like, again,
Yeah,
is it kind
yeah.
of like a fetish for you and your because
That's
like
right.
I have dealt with in the sex industry I have dealt with a lot of
Yeah.
people who are like I want to be a girl so I can like it's so sexy for me to like dress up like a woman and it's like it's kind
See,
of just
that's AGP.
it's yeah it's disturbing in a
Yeah.
way
Yeah, that's right. Because I don't think
it's
you don't fetishize yourself. You're not like just like
no
I'm like, and
I'm like
then
oh
again fetishes are there, and I don't have any problem with that. But
yeah
that's why I think we need to distinguish the difference between transsexuals like you and I, who really got diagnosed with gender dysphoria. And
dysphoria
these
yes
people are not being diagnosed. They're just saying I'm trans and I want to be a woman. And then that's when this whole woman thing started to happen, where trans women are women and trans women can, that's you are a woman, but in your reality, you're a transsexual woman, and it's
yes
different than a
absolutely
biological woman. And I knew that you
yes
would be very on board with
oh,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think too, what are we going to do? Erase biological women and biological men?
No, never,
No,
never.
no. Like I will you listen. I am a trans woman and I'm completely okay with that. I'm like
Beautiful,
that's totally fine.
beautiful,
I like
beautiful,
I see nothing wrong with that.
beautiful.
I'm very comfortable in my
I
skin,
see
in my
that.
body. Yeah,
I see that.
I'm not stressed out about labels and things like that. Again, me being trans is not my whole identity.
That's
I
right.
have so many more facets to me than just, I'm a trans warrior, and all I do is, fight the good fight, and like
Yep, yep, yep. That's
I
right.
I, I have many things to me, just as you have many things to you, Buck, and
That's
it's
right. It's so important that people hear you say that because I think
yeah.
trans women are getting a bad rap now because there's these really loudmouth trans women who are so adamant that they're women and they get their period and they have can make a
Oh,
baby and I'm like, "What? Why are you
oh,
doing that? That is so insane and it's lies and it's wrong and it makes the world hate us."
like the Jessica Yanivs and the Dylan Mulvaney's of the world.
Oh, damn. I can't handle it. They're disgusting. They're disgusting and they're ruining it for all of us. They
You're
are.
making a mockery. And like, they're
This is
pointing
gross.
fingers at us because of you. It's because of people like that who are,
That's
you
right.
know, and like,
That's right.
listen, I've been like kind of keeping an eye on like, Dylan Mulvaney, just to see like how much damage she would cause to our community.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I think it's getting worse. It's also
It
like,
is.
the commercialization of transition now with her,
That's
where
right.
she's starting to charge people money to come to, yeah, starting to charge people money to come to like her day 365 of womanhood. And it's like, really? Is that what this is about?
Oh,
Transitioning
wow.
is a commercial market for us just to make money? Like, no,
That's
this is
right.
like a serious thing.
Wow. That's so, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Well, I saw it coming. And, the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing, that's a whole other. I would love to get an interview with Dylan. If you're watching, I would love to sit down with you,
Come
friend.
talk to Buck, Dylan.
That's
Do it.
right. That's right. Let's really have a conversation about what's going on with you. Maybe you are trans, maybe you're not. Maybe you're pulling everybody's leg, maybe you aren't. Maybe, but a lot of people think this person is lying. A lot of people think this person is just a sort of person who's coming in the community and using it to make a
Yeah.
lot of
Of
money.
money. Yeah, it's all about
Oh,
profit. Uh,
profit off of trans.
Profit.
This is her. This stuff isn't fun. Being trans is not fun, and this that
Oh,
hashtag trans is beautiful. I hate that hashtag. It is on some level manipulation and luring people. That's what I think lures the young
yeah,
people.
it's almost like a cult. It's like join our club, right? It's like
That's
join our
right. That's
cult.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
trans is beautiful. Like
That's right.
trans, it, it it's it is beautiful, Buck, but it's also very ugly.
Well, it's beautiful when you go through the process of it and you realize, wow, I come out on the other side and I'm so happy. Well, so if you're so happy, why are you so angry? That's the other thing I see in a younger generation of trans. I see so much
Yes.
anger and so much hate and so much I'm gonna kill you, you turf, and go cut your. I mean, it's just fascinating to me the anger and resentment and desire to tell people to kill themselves. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
If you leave the community, go kill yourself. Like, wait a minute here. This is a community that's supposed to be marginalized.
Inclusive. Yeah.
That's right, and inclusive and diverse, right?
Yeah, but I can tell
Mm,
you that like I feel the
mm,
farthest from that. Like I have gotten, I've had people tell me that my
yeah,
ideology and my views are backwards and
ideology.
wrong and just
Well, yours is not ideology. Theirs is. That's why they're saying
yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
exactly why. So tell me, do you have trans women friends that you hang out with?
No.
None. Yeah,
None.
most of the trans women I know say the exact same thing. Do you know that? Yep.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's because, I feel like there's this. It's also like, the mouse and the rat race syndrome of like being a trans person, like who's
Yep.
transitioning the best and who looks the
Oh,
best and who's getting all the boys and or who's getting all the girls and who's making the most money, who's the most successful, who's the most, just like there's just like this collide in like at least the community that I'm around. And
hmm,
I feel like I can't find a sense of family or
that's so
like
sad.
belonging into my own community, and
Yeah.
it's really depressing. And
Yeah,
that's why
I
like
hear you.
I surround myself with, unfortunately, like cis people,
So
but
do
not
I.
unfortunately, like, yeah,
No, so do
but
I. Yeah, it's
yeah,
my whole
like it's,
life.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is my whole life because
yeah,
again, like I've like just allowed myself to just be a woman
yeah.
again.
That's
Like
so
I
beautiful.
I just fit into normal society. I'm not, trying to make a mockery of everything that is like, I'm just a person, Buck.
I
I'm
hear
just a
you.
human being.
I
I'm just a
hear you.
human being. I wake up, I drink my coffee like everybody else, and I go to work, I do what I gotta do. That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's what. Thank you. That's what I want the world to see. That there's people like us. We
Yeah.
just want to go back and living in the world, and we don't want to be
Yeah.
talking about our transness 24/7 or biology
Yes.
or you know what I mean, like all of that stuff. So to me, that's transsexualism. I think that I would consider you a transsexual person because it's people who
Yes.
like us who just want to sort of fix the problem and move on in the world. And so I get why you have more cisgender friends because I do too. There's no drama. I have no drama in that space. There's not like the competitiveness or who's more masculine, who has more muscle mass, whose beard is bigger than that beard. There's a lot of that in the trans male
Yeah,
community
there
too.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a race. We're not trying to out male or female each other. We're just trying to survive here for the little time we have left on this earth. And so with that, did you move here and then have your transition here, or did you start your transition in Brazil?
I moved here and started my transition here.
And then how about your family? Where are they?
Um, my so most of my family is in Brazil,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
have my parents are here currently. I'm an only child,
Okay.
so that
Okay,
was an
great.
interesting
Yeah, I'd
situation
like
to
to know what
transition.
tell me
Yeah.
about that. I want to know about your parents and how they sort of dealt with that.
Yeah, so
Mhm,
when I was, as in high school, as I started to transition,
mhm.
my parents were really not on board with it. But they
Right.
like actually kicked me out for a short period of
Oh,
time. Yeah, it was difficult. But eventually they came around and now my mother is so happy that she has a daughter.
oh my
Yeah, and
God.
my father is also very supportive of me, and I'm so blessed and so thankful to have parents who have like raised me up to be like such a decent human being with like good morals and
Yeah,
uh yeah, no,
yeah.
they're very supportive and I love them and they're incredible
Oh.
people. They help my dad paid for my boobs. And yeah.
Wow. Yay, Dad. Yay,
Yay,
Dad.
dad. No,
That's
but
so
yeah,
awesome.
my father has been a huge pioneer in my life to like being successful and to always just kind of fight against the grain and just to
Mhm,
be my true authentic self, and same with my mother. They both have been just my rocks, and I love them very
wow.
much, and I'm very grateful
Thank
to
you.
both of them.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love your parents. You know, this is what people need to hear. Do you notice in our community, they're always telling these kids to get away from their parents. They're always telling these kids,
Yeah.
your parents will never understand, or we're your glitter family. Come over here. Like it's so creepy and weird. And like,
Yeah, it's predatory.
you can't, it's predatory, but
It's
it's so
predatory.
important. You know, parents are just struggling. They're losing their daughter or their son, and they're, going the other way on some level. And
It
you got to
it
give
takes
parents
some
a
time.
yes, thank you. Thank you, friend. Thank you.
Yeah, you
So
you have to
important.
you have to give them grace, right?
That's
You
right.
can't just expect everybody to just, like, okay, I understand
No.
what you are and who you are. No, you have to give people grace to really understand what
Yeah,
you're going through. And you have to even, and
that's
you
right.
also have to invite them into that so they have an
That's right.
understanding of what it is that you need from them, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, that's why your parents
Yeah.
came around. Also, they just saw how you went from that to that and how amazing you look and you take care of yourself and you have a business and you're productive as a citizen of the world. And, that's, I think, all what parents want. They just want you to be a success. They don't want you to die. They don't want you to be a drug addict slung out on the street somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
which all
And
those
I
things
could
can
have,
happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
I could have been that. I
you
very
could have
well,
been.
I could have been. I was a drug addict for a
So
while.
was I. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And like that's unfortunately like what we go through sometimes as, trans
that's
folk,
right.
because depression
That's right.
is really real, especially when you are transitioning or when you are truly transgender.
That's
The
right.
depressions they're bad.
So you did have a little bout with drugs for a while there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I
and
did.
then
Yeah.
yeah, so did I. I was like totally on crack. I was smoking crack. Oh my God, I was out of
I
control.
I was on fentanyl.
Oh, oh shit! They didn't
Yeah.
have that back when I did it. They
Back in
didn't
the
have
day.
that shit. It was
Yeah.
crack. Oh my God! And here we are. We survived. Oh God,
And
you
we
survived
did.
fentanyl, which is way worse
Yeah.
than crack, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
Holy
Buck,
shit!
I almost, so it wasn't until the point where I almost died, actually.
Oh
I
no!
overdosed on
Oh
fentanyl.
shit!
And yeah, I ended up in the hospital, and had I had gotten there 5 minutes prior to that, I wouldn't be here sitting here
Oh
talking with
my
you right now.
God, Madeline, that's horrible. I'm so happy you survived. You
Me
survived for a
too.
reason. You
I
survived
did.
for a reason. You did. You
To
did.
fight
You're
the good
supposed
fight.
to. No, no, I'm not kidding. You're supposed to be here and you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. And I'm a believer of those things. And
Thank you,
that was a
Buck. I
wake-up
appreciate
call.
it.
So after that, I think, did you realize that you had a problem and you needed to
Yeah,
get away from it?
I definitely cleaned
Mm.
my act up. I just felt
Oh,
like all this pressure from, like, being a sex worker,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
being on OnlyFans, and like
right.
having to look a certain way, and
Yeah,
to people don't discuss this a lot on, like, the side of, like, being on sex work and being on, like, the
yeah,
internet, is
yeah.
you're up for debate, you're up for ridicule from
That's right.
everybody, and from your fans, from your supporters, from your haters,
Mhm.
whoever. And being a fairly large OnlyFans creator has
Right.
been really detrimental to my mental health. And like,
That's right.
and like, it pushed me to doing drugs, and it
Mhm.
pushed me to uh using. And then after I finished, after I survived that overdose,
Mhm.
I vowed to never touch a substance ever again. And I haven't
God.
since. It's been 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's huge. 3 years. It's not even like a
Yeah.
small thing. It's a very big deal.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations, my friend. You care
Thank you,
about
Buck.
yourself.
I
You do. You care
do.
about yourself. I know. I can see it. Only that's the one great thing of these platforms. Whether or not people out there care, many people are not cool with pornography or sex work. That's cool. Just put that over there for a minute.
Yeah.
Understand that these platforms give us an opportunity where we might not have an opportunity to get a job or to work for ourselves, or to create this space where you don't have to go to a regular job, but you get to create your own job. So whether or not you
Yes.
like sex work or not, it doesn't matter. You have to look at it in a way that says this person, you, Madeline, got to create her own space, and now you're your own boss, and that's big. That
Yeah.
is a big deal. It is. And so
It's given me freedom.
on so many levels. And the other great part about it is, like I said earlier, you don't have to escort out there unless you choose to do that, but you
No.
don't have to go put yourself in danger, where a lot of trans
No.
people back in the day did survival sex work on the streets. And that's why many trans women got killed back in the day, because
Yeah.
it's scary. You look like a woman, and if they find out you're not, and you're in a very intimate space, I mean, all hell can break loose.
And it
And
has, Buck. It
that's
has.
right. That's right. Many, like I said, many people got killed because of that. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I do like about these platforms. It gives you the opportunity to be safe, but still be doing. Sex work will be here forever, whether you like it or
It
not, my
is.
friends.
Yeah.
Forever, it will be here. Doesn't matter if you like it.
It will always
That's
be in
right.
demand, because people will
That's
always
right.
be horny, Buck.
That's exact. I mean, it's
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah, it is.
It's natural. That's why, going back to, not that kids and porn are together, they're not, but going back to minors transitioning, right? And especially 10 or 12-year-old young people, giving them puberty blockers, you are actually sterilizing these children. And why are we not? They're literally sterilizing kids who will never have orgasms, never be able to have any like autonomy over their own sex. So they keep talking about autonomy. An 11-year-old does not have autonomy over their own body. They don't know they're going to make a right or wrong choice. That's why
Yes.
I'm a parent, I have a 10-year-old. That's why
Oh,
parents are
wow.
here. Yeah, I'm a total dad. I'm a daddy over here, but I'm a
Aw,
dad
yeah,
here.
you're dad in all the senses.
And it's an amazing space to be again, I wouldn't ask for any. I've been very blessed with a kid, but so I can't even imagine if my kid is 10 and if he said to me, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a girl," I'd be like, "Cool, put a dress on." Like, put a
Yeah.
dress on and shut up, and just,
Yeah.
we'll call you Cindy. It's all good. You're not taking any medicine, dude.
Yeah, no, not yet, not yet. Yeah,
It's weird.
you
It's so
it is
weird. It's so
it is
sad.
it is very strange. And I don't even know if I want to be a parent in this generation of what we're dealing with,
Yeah.
honestly.
Mm,
I'm s-
it's
I,
hard.
I'm not sure. I'm really not
You don't have
sure,
to be sure. I didn't
Yeah.
become a dad. I didn't become a dad until my 50s. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, I never wanted to have a kid. It wasn't something until it happened. And then like, oh, wow, my partner has a kid and I'm adopting that kid. And it's been such a beautiful, I never wanted it. And now that I have it, I'm like, oh, I think I want to have another one. But
I think you can see my kid right there.
totally right on. That's awesome. Way to go. So in the trans space and you having sort of you have different views than the majority of the community. Like me and you are kind of outliers, I think, on but
Yeah.
I'm seeing more and more trans women like you. Do you know that? I'm seeing more and more of them who are stepping up and saying, "Wait a minute here. We need to put the brakes on this because I feel like on some level you're being left out of the conversation." Do you feel that way on some level that you're being left out of what it means to be a transsexual or trans woman?
I do. Yeah. I think it's because like I have different views on like what being transgender is, and
Hmm.
I think it doesn't align with the GP anymore because
Hmm.
it feels as though, it's almost this commercialization again of like, people coming out of the woodwork saying that they, you could, if you have like purple hair, you're transgender now. And I just feel like it's like it's really it's difficult to have like an opinion when you're all like pushed together in this like marginalized group of people as like insane because of certain people, like, the
Yeah.
yeah, again, like the
The loudest
non-binaries and
voices. Well, the
the lo-
loudest
it's
voices, like Dylan. Like
yeah,
Dylan now represents the guy just, or I'm sorry, she just transitioned.
he
What? Okay. Like how many years ago? Like 365 days ago or something.
and it's
It's
also like,
absurd.
and it's just like it's weird to me that Dylan, also identifies as like not a woman but a girl. Again,
Oh, creep.
it kind of goes back into what's that term that you said earlier? The
Autogynephilia, AGP,
Yeah,
autogynephilia. Yep,
it's giving very
yep,
that, sweetie. It's giving
it
very
is.
that. Yeah. It's giving that,
Right
and you
on.
know what? It's not cute. It's really not cute.
Uh-uh.
Like you're a grown ass
Yep,
woman. So
yep,
be a
yep.
grown ass woman. You're not a fucking 16-year-old girl. Stop.
Excellent.
It's gross. It's
Stop.
really
It's
gross.
gross.
Yeah.
It makes us all look like weirdo pervert freaks.
Yeah, and
And,
like, you know what?
hate it. I hate it.
You and I, we're just trying to survive. We're just
That's
trying to,
right.
we're just trying to exist in today's society, and you know, we've we've done it, and it's awesome, but also like we're still having to fight the fight of
Well, we have to
the
fight
crazy people.
in our own community. That's the thing that's
Yes.
so interesting to me. I feel totally accepted in the world. I don't know how. I mean, it seems
Yeah,
like
I
you
feel
feel
fine.
the
Yeah.
place that I get the most hate is from my own
My own
community.
community.
It's bizarre behavior. It's like we used to have to fight them, but they're the ones who are like, we think you guys are okay. We don't like those guys. And they're literally destroying the whole. You watch. It just sucks, man. Can you imagine me being here for 30, 40 years, working in the LGBT community and seeing this? And also when I see a lot of my friends who've been my friends for 10, 15 years becoming these woke maniacs, it's shocking. I'm like, why? I think people feel scared to do what me and you do, which is say
There
things.
people are afraid to have opinions, right? And because like
Yeah,
the cancel
yeah,
culture of it all is just, and like cancel culture is not a real actual
it's not
thing,
real.
right?
That's right. That's right.
It's what you give it's like it's only if you give it power. Because like
Hmm.
I'm gonna sit here and talk about what I want to talk about until I'm blue in the face. And if the
Right.
internet wants to cancel me for this, go
It
ahead,
ain't gonna happen though. It's not
go
gonna
ahead.
happen.
I'm a
Yeah, that's right.
cockroach, baby. I'm a
Right
cockroach. You
on.
can't cancel me.
That's why you're awesome, my friend. That's so brilliant. No, we need more trans women like you standing up and saying, "Hey, wait a minute here. I don't resonate with this
No.
the alok people and all of that." Like
Yeah.
trying to
And like,
represent.
yeah, no. And like the people, the detrimental of like, I don't know, are you aware who like Jessica Yaniv is?
Of course. Ugh,
Oh,
God, who are these people? They're
I don't,
gross.
I won't even say that that is a she. That's a he. That is
Right
a
on.
he. I will
Right
not,
on.
I don't respect
Right on.
predators. I
Me
don't.
neither. That's right.
Mm-mm.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I say. You do not. So it's respectful for people to call me and he and she. That's a respect that we
Yes.
get because we come to the world with respect. But if you're going to come
Yes.
to the world like a complete a-hole and like pretend like you're a woman when you're a fucking dude who won't even make the effort to look like a woman
A
and
woman. You're
talking
just
down,
slapping on a, yeah. Just
yeah, and
slapping
talking
on a
down to women.
wig. Yeah.
That's
Just
right.
slapping on
What
a
the
wig and
hell?
putting on some makeup doesn't make you transgender. I'm so sorry.
And then
I
going
absolutely
into a
like,
place and expecting the lady to like wax
wax
your
you.
testicles.
Yes. Yes. It's disturbing. Most trans people have dysphoria. All trans people have dysphoria.
That's right.
So
That's
I
right.
don't I'm not gonna walk into a place when I need to get waxed and like demand that they wax my genitalia. Like, what the fuck? Like,
No, it's not trans because we have total dysphoria around that
we
stuff. We're
do.
not gonna walk in and spread our legs open and be like, wax my
Yeah.
nuts, dude. Wax my
Yeah.
lady nuts. Like, no, it ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Like, no. I like it's just it's truly disturbing, Buck.
It's wrong. It's wrong. And that's why, people out there are just like everybody on my channel will appreciate you, first off. But secondly, when you read the comments, you're gonna say like they respect people like me and you. They're gonna say a lot of conservative people say, I respect you. And I will call you he. It's those people when they say Jessica or like Dylan or it's
Yeah.
those people they say that are making it difficult for us because those people are not taking it seriously. They're mocking and they're mocking women and like carrying around tampons. Having your period is not. I had my period. It's not fun, and it's not something women talk about, and it's a very personal space. And for a
It is.
trans person to be like, I got tampons and I got and pretending like they get their period. Why would they do that?
It's delusional. They're meant they're unwell, Buck. They're very
Yeah,
unwell, and they need
yeah,
to go to therapy because if you're a trans woman and you're gonna sit here and tell me that you have a period,
yeah.
no. Like, go get some help. Go
I
talk to
know.
somebody. Go get a hobby.
A
Honestly,
hobby, a
go get a
hobby.
hobby.
I mean, it's so insane, my friend. Yeah, it is. And I listen to women because I did live half my life in the female space. So,
Yeah.
I do understand what they're saying. And if these crazy trans women would just stop and sit down for a minute and actually listen to what's happening here, they would have more empathy and compassion. Trans women aren't telling trans women stuff. They're only telling them stuff to push back on them, on the ones that are. They would never say that to you because you just are completely respectful of all spaces. I see that. But it's the ones
Absolutely.
who aren't. And so they're delusional and they're actually creating such a schism between us and them that, it's like, yeah, it's depressing on so many levels to
It
see
is really
this.
depressing. It is.
Yeah.
But like, like we're not here to erase anybody, Buck. We're not
Nope.
here to
Nope.
erase the biological men, biological women. We're just here to like, bring awareness to what we go through and like
That's
what
right.
we have to deal with. And like we
Yep.
understand that we are not the same as you. We get that.
That's right.
We completely get that. And that's
That's
so
right.
valid. But also, respect us in our space as well.
And
At
they
least the ones
do.
who deserve to be respected. Not
That's right.
everybody.
But
Yeah.
most people respect me and you. They do. They don't have
Yes,
an
they
issue
do.
with us. It's those crazy ones that they're making it really. And then that's because the crazy ones are the reasons people call me and you, she and he, because they on the sort of pushing at calling me a she. And they do that because they see the wing nuts and they don't see me and you. And that's why
It's
bringing you
because
on the
we're
channel.
pushed. Yeah, it's because we're pushed to the bottom of the
That's
algorithm.
right. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
And
right.
the crazy woke left, they're pushed to the top, and like we're buried in the mix, and like
We're
all
so
all the
gross.
GPC is like the crazy people,
That's
the
right.
nuts of the world,
That's right.
and
That's
something
right.
has to change, Buck. Otherwise,
No,
we're
it's
gonna
going
be,
to. It's
yeah,
going to. But the problem is that me and you will get hurt from it because they're going to
yes,
change all kinds of laws. They're going to change not only laws for kids, which they need to, but it's going to affect the adults, me and you, who can make the choice. And that's the sad
yeah,
part about it, is that me and you are going to get swept up into the anti-trans laws, and they're going to just go across the board. And that's what I want the world to see. Me and her, we need our medication. We need to move forward. We don't
yeah,
want to hurt anybody. We don't want to take your space. We just want to live with you, and we're not against you. And so if people hear me and you, they're going to say, well, there are people like this who actually need their medication. And that's why I want to give back this idea of gatekeeping, which I call safekeeping. Like, it needs to be a system that people need to go through. Me and you went through a
yes,
system,
we
and look
did,
at us. We went through a system and we're solid. We're never looking back.
yeah,
Ever. Nope.
no. And
Never.
and because of that, and like when you go through a system, right? When you go through trials and tribulations
Yep.
to
Yep.
transition,
Yep.
it's usually successful, because
Yep.
that way it kind of it halts the people who truly aren't
That's right.
transgender.
That's
And like
right.
that is the point of, needing therapy and to go to a psychiatrist and like evaluations before you just transition. Like,
Wow. The fact that we're having that conversation says
oh,
says I mean, it's not like you're just telling a kid to change their clothes. You're telling a kid to put hormones in their
hormones
body.
in the body.
You're
Yeah,
telling kids to have surgery, and don't you dare tell me that kids aren't having surgery. We have proof of it. It's literally posted
we
on the
do.
internet. 15, that's a kid, a 15-year-old. I've even seen a 13-year-old have their, chest surgery at 13?
Yeah. Get,
What?
getting your, yeah. And I
Wow.
I want to know, who are these people, who are these doctors allowing this? These are the
Yes.
questions that I ask. These
Yes.
are like, I think we need to put them on trial to see
It's going
like
to
what are,
happen.
yeah.
It's happening. There's already lawsuits happening. These doctors, you know why? Because they're playing God on some level, and they think also there's so much money to be made in all of this sort of gender medicine. There's a lot of funding happening, a lot of money, which is so gross. We've become sort of like this money making machine for people, and
Yeah.
it's at the expense of children and people. Um, it's been so lovely speaking with you,
Oh, thank
Madaline.
you, Buck.
You're awesome. I hope that we become friends, and
I would love that.
I would love it
Yes.
too. I actually would. I think it's so important for us to stick together. Is there
I
anything
would,
you think you might want to say out there to maybe a young person who's thinking about transitioning? Maybe,
of course.
yeah.
To any young person, again, just wait, give it some time. I know, like, you might think that you want to transition and this is right for you, but honestly, I'm telling you from someone who waited, just wait. Just give
Hmm.
yourself the time, give yourself the grace, like allow yourself to grow a little bit before you transition. And when you reach an age of adulthood, then you can go forward with that transition and make sure that it's really right for you. Because I'm really, really grateful that I wasn't able to transition until later on in life. And I think that just be patient,
Hmm.
and it will happen if it needs to happen. And
That's right.
yeah,
Oh, that's so sweet and beautiful, and that's what people need to hear. And when they see you who transitioned later after waiting, they'll see that it's possible. It's not
it
that it's not
is.
possible. You might struggle a little bit with your dysphoria, but
Yeah,
that's
of
okay too.
course.
It's really okay
Yeah.
to struggle. It's not a bad thing. It's actually kind of a good thing to have a little struggle in your life. Because then when you
Yeah.
get, when you struggle to get to that, then you're like, you get it, and you're like, oh, wow, it makes it so much more powerful. And you have so much more gratitude for things that aren't just sort of handed to you, but you had to kind of
Yes.
work to get to that
Yeah,
space.
and you know what? And being transgender it's a work in progress,
That's
right?
right.
You and I
Forever.
know that it
Hmm.
forever. It's
Forever.
just a work in progress.
That's right. Forever, ever, ever, you will be medicalized and you'll be transitioning. There's no end point
Yep.
at
There
all.
isn't.
Nope, not at
Nope.
all. So thank you, Madaline. I'll put all your socials and everything in the comments in the box below, and
Okay.
so people can reach out to you if you like, and
Okay.
whatever else you want to put out. And please leave some awesome, beautiful comments for her. She's an amazing person who stepped up and really spoke what she really believes in, and it goes against a lot of what this community says. But more and more that you support this channel, I can bring these people. Will show you that it's not what you think it is, and that people like us need to have a voice in this space because we care about the youth and we care about transitioning. So with that, have an awesome day, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next one.